Form field types. Text form field type is the most basic and commonly used form field type. When a text field is presented to a capturer, a simple text box is provided for the capturer to type into. A switch type field is used to capture binary type values where there are only two possibilities. For example, yes and no, true or false, or indicating agreement to something. A list field type will result in a list of options being presented. The capturer can only make selections from this list and not enter any other value. When a field is marked as typelist, then the property pick values must be specified. Here the list values should be entered as a comma-separated list. A combo box is a combination of a list and a text box. So in this instance, a list is presented that the capturer can choose from, or the capturer may also type freely if the desired value does not exist in the list. When a field is marked as type combo box, then the property pick values must be specified. Here the list values should be entered and separated by commas. A ICD code field type will present a list of activated diagnosis codes to the capturer. In ELCA-MED, the concept of an activated diagnosis code is one that has been activated for use within the practice from the master set of codes. In medicine, there are thousands of ICD codes and generally a given clinician mostly uses a small subset of these based on their specialty. Using the full list of codes in excess of 40,000 for the capturer to choose from would be impractical. Codes can be activated at practice setup and also further codes can be activated at a later date whenever required. When a capturer is prompted to fill in a field of type ICD code, the activated set of codes is used to hold the list. See activating codes for more information. Procedure code field types present a list of activated procedure codes to the capturer. Procedure codes in medicine are also vast, therefore it is most useful to present a clinician or practice manager only with a subset of these codes. Again, activating these codes at practice setups or adding extra ones at any other time is handled through the configuration menu Manage Procedure Codes. Material codes also need to be set up for an organization. These however are captured as opposed to being activated since material codes can be much more varying than the different sets of diagnosis and procedure codes. When a clinician or practice manager fills in a form field of type material code, they will be presented with the list of these added material codes. A number type field will require a capturer to enter a whole number or integer value. A decimal form field type will require the capturer to provide a valid decimal number value. A multi-line form field type is similar to a text field type but when presented to the capturer has a large text box that spans multiple lines and is generally better suited for free-flowing text data. A date form field type will present a calendar to the capturer to allow them to select a date. A custom list form field type allows the capturer to be presented with data from a custom list. In ELCA-MED, a custom list is a list that is intended to be used across multiple forms. The custom list must have a name and a unique code. An example custom list might be a list of the names of various vitamins and the code might be capitals VIT. The list items could be things like vitamin C, vitamin B, vitamin D and vitamin E. To then use this custom list in a form you must create a form field type of custom list and set the custom list code to be that of the custom list, in this example VIT. A custom combo box field type is a combination of a custom list and a text field where the capturer is presented with the same list values as before but may also optionally enter free text. Custom list multi-select. A custom list multi-select field type is the same as a custom list field type, but it allows multiple selections. Yes, no answer. The yes, no form answer field type simply presents a list box with the options yes and no to the user. Range options. The range options field type presents to the user a set of radio buttons numbered from the min value specified to the max value specified. You can also specify an alias for each value between the minimum and maximum. For example, if you had a question such as, "How bad is the pain on a scale of 1 to 5?" you could use a range options field, set the min value to 1, the max value to 5. Then in the number rating aliases property enter a comma-separated list for the text to use for each discrete value. For example, enter the text values comma separated as no pain, mild pain, medium pain, strong pain, severe pain. Site. The site form field type presents a list box to choose from the list of sites that have been configured for your organization. Clinician. The clinician form field title presents a list of the clinicians in the practice based on their usernames. A label form field type is a special type of form field in that it is not used for capturing any data but rather just places a label in the form at the position of the field. This is useful to help visually group form fields where a form might require such. User signature. The user signature field type is also a special field type, in that it will not appear when the capturer is capturing a form. But including this field does mean that it can be used as a form variable in the print preview template. When this is included in the print preview template, it will be substituted for the signature image of the logged-in user. Additional properties of form fields. There are some additional properties that can be set for form fields. These are default value, mandatory, description, position, minimum and maximum. Default value. Specifying a default value for a field results in the field being pre-populated with that value whenever a new form instance is created. Mandatory. Setting a form field to be mandatory will result in a capturer having to specify a value for that field when filling in a form. The capturer will not be allowed to submit the form until that value is filled in. Description. As well as the name for a field, there is also an optional description. It can be used to explain in more detail what is required in that field. For example, an external form sent to a patient, there may be a field that asks the patient to choose something on a scale. For example, how painful is the injury? The description could be, please choose between 1 and 10 how painful the injury is, with 1 being least painful and 10 being most painful. When a field has a name and description, then both will appear on the form for the capturer to see. Position. The position property of a form field defines where in the sort order of the fields it will be presented on the form. A field with a value of 0 will be placed at the top of the form, with each subsequent field below having a position of 1 higher. Although you can manually change the value of the position on this property, it is easier to drag and drop the form fields in the form builder to reorder them. Minimum value. For number and decimal field types, a minimum value can be specified. When filling in a form instance, the capturer will not be allowed to enter value below this minimum threshold. Maximum value. For number and decimal field types, a maximum value can be specified. When filling in a form instance, the capturer will not be allowed to enter a value above this maximum threshold.